Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Danitrio, and this is the Bamboo Story in Akatamanuri. We have a Classic Pens LB5 in the Kaen. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. We have a Scribo 3 in the Bologna blue. We have a Scribo 2 in the Cardinal Red. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. We have a Montegrappa Extra Otto in the Pearl Grey. We have a Montegrappa Extra 1930, and this is in the Striped Zebra. And then we have a Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. So, I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this pen here is the very beautiful but very large. And this is the Danitrio Bamboo Story. It's a Akatamanuri Yurushi. So this is a pen that is pretty large and it just fits in my pen tray. This is an ebonite pen, and they have shaped it into a bamboo-like cane. They then Yurushi lots and lots of coats of Yurushi over the top of it. Well, you have a base coat and then you have more coats on top. And this is essentially a Akatamanuri-like finish. A beautiful pen. You have the artist or group signature there. It's a really nice pen, and I like large pens. It's not a weighty pen compared to like the size. You would think it would be a lot heavier than it actually is, but it's not. It is an eyedropper pen, and I do have eyedropper pens. I have 3 Opus 88 Kilaro demonstrators. I think I have a few other pens, certainly a lot of pens that could be eyedroppered, but typically I do not. This comes with a number 8 size Danitrio nib there. It's a beautiful pen, and I just love it to bits. So it does hold a huge amount of ink. You do have, I'm going to show you this here. I'm not going to unscrew the section from the body, but this is a shut-off valve. So basically, if you want it to write more wet, you open this valve. If you want it to write less wet, you then close that valve and lock it off. It doesn't necessarily stop the flow completely, but I'd say it does stop it about 90%. A very beautiful pen. I like Yurushi. I like Akatamanuri. Beautiful, beautiful finish. And so in awe that I was able to pick this up when I did. I saw it at the London Pen Show, I think in 2018. It might have been 2017, possibly. I fell in love with it, and I decided that was it. I was going to buy it there and then, no matter what. Well, almost no matter what the cost. I say no matter what the cost. I'd already, I think, bought 3 pens at that point. So I kind of was on a budget at that point. I guess I could have spent more, but the price for this pen was awesome. At least to me anyway. So I decided I would pick it up. The next pen is the Classic Pens LB5, and this is in the Kaen. So if I show you here, this is made by Sailor. It's an LB5. It was made for Classic Pens, and it says Kaen there, number 3850. I have a Kauseki in the I think it's metal ore, the brown, and I've always wanted this. I have an LM1 from Classic Pens, slightly smaller, not made by Sailor, but I've always wanted the Classic Pens LB5 in the red as well as the brown. And a number of years later, I was able to pick this up in the red and managed to buy this from a friend, William Shakur, who was thinning down his collection of pens. And to be honest, looking at the cost of how much these sell for now, I got it for a really good price. It was certainly more than what my Kalseki, the brown metal ore one cost. But this has a number 8 size Sailor 21 karat gold King of Pen nib, and it is a cartridge converter pen. I can post the cap. It's made of this beautiful diffusion bonded acrylic there, and if you don't know, basically it's sheets of acrylic that is pressed together under a huge amount of pressure to have it fuse together. So for me, that is a beautiful pen. I certainly paid probably over the odds. It was certainly a lot more than the MSRP price that they originally sold for. But then again, so was my Kalseki. I paid over the odds for that, but these are selling for a lot more now. So I have seen some of these selling for 4, 5, 6,000. I honestly wouldn't pay that amount of money, and the amount of money I paid for this was really on the brim of should I or shouldn't I buy it. But I knew it was not only a grail that I always wanted in this colour, but I always realised that the bus wouldn't come along again probably for this. So if I passed on this one, it would sell very quickly, and I'd probably never have the chance of picking that LB5 up in that red Kaen ever again. So that's why I decided I would pick that one up when I did. So glad I did, because it's a beautiful pen, and for me it was worth the money. The next pen I have inked up this week is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico. This is in the red marble. I do need to check, because I'm pretty sure they didn't call it anything other than red marble. I don't think they actually gave this the marble a name as such. It's a beautiful pen. Glad I picked this up when I did. I picked it up from Chris at Trufe a number of years ago. Absolutely love this pen. It's got the 23 cat palladium nib on. Beautiful writer. It's a solid silver pen, so you've got the cap, the section, the power vac knob are all solid silver. Then you've got the marble body there. As I said, a 23 cat palladium nib. I got it in a medium. Beautiful writer. Hook safe lock. It's a power vac filler. It is a single reservoir, not a double reservoir. So it does hold around about 1.5 milliliters of ink. But it is a beautiful pen, and it's a weighty pen. And I like large pens. I like weighty pens. I like weighty large pens. So for me, that is a pen that I do like writing with a lot. Most of my pens I will write with when I write letters, and I will write on A4 paper, and I will typically write a whole A4 page, so one side of A4 in that one pen. And I find that it's a beautiful writing pen to do one page. If I'm writing for 2, 3, 4 pages, it does become a little bit more heavy for me, and I get a little bit more hand fatigue. But writing for a page or two, like maybe I'll write a page in this one, and then maybe I'll write a page in that one, perfectly fine. I personally don't get really any hand fatigue from that at all. The next pen here is, again, the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico. This is in the Lapis Lazuli. And again, it is a solid silver cap and section and power vac knob, but it's a gold-plated vermeil. So it is a gold colour rather than a silver colour. It's a yellow gold. Again, very, very heavy pen, but I just love it. And I do love it a lot, and I think that this looks actually better than the red marble. I think it's more the yellow gold to me that makes it look a little bit better. I think when it first came out, I thought it looked a little bit too much bling in terms of the yellow gold, a little bit too much maybe. But I don't see that now. I absolutely love this pen. Now, this doesn't have the 23 carat palladium nib, it has the newer 18 carat gold nib there from Visconti. It's a medium nib. Again, it's a Powervac single reservoir, hook safe lock mechanism, concave section, beautiful writer as well, just like the 23 carat palladium nib that I have there. And I have to say that it's a pen I like writing with a lot. The next pen here is a Scribo 3, and this is a Right Here exclusive in the UK. Right Here is a retailer, and I have to say that I do like this a lot. I started getting these because I realised that when Omos closed their doors, a couple of the staff members from Omos created Scribo. John Hall at Right Here already was the UK distributor for Omos originally, and he would become the UK distributor for Scribo as well. So there was already a relationship there between Omos and Right Here, and that would then sort of transpire into an agreement or a partnership between Scribo and Right Here. And that's why I started buying these. I knew that these had the Omos style extra flesser belay nibs. They call them extra flex here on Scribo. It's a medium, it's a 14 carat gold nib, ebonite feed. These are piston filling pens, so that holds around about 1 to 1.2 milliliters of ink. But I just love this pen a lot. So that was the third generation of the Scribo Right Here collaboration. The second iteration was this one, and this came in two pens, and I got both of the colours. It came in the Cardinal Red, and it also came in a green as well. I think it was called Noble Green. So again, it's got the Right Here logo there, which is a fountain pen nib, and again, it's made by Scribo, so it's a cylindrical pen, sort of. I want to say classic style pen. It's one that isn't outdated probably too much. I think it's good. To be honest, I prefer the wider, the faceted Scribo feels over this, but I don't dislike this. They are resin pens. You have again the extra flex nib or extra flesser belay nib. Again, a medium 14 karat gold nib there. They are resin. Again, piston filling pens, so about 1 to 1.2 milliliters of ink that holds. But I have to say they are good, and to be honest, they are cheaper than the Scribo Fills. I think it was about 80 to 100 cheaper than the Scribo Fills, so it was actually worth buying them. And I haven't bought the Scribo. I think it's the Scribo Right Here 4, possibly the 5, maybe. I've only stuck to the 3 that I have. I kind of wanted the grey at one point and then decided against it. It had long sold out. I saw a couple come up on the used second-hand market, but they were a bit stained, so I decided not to go for those in the end. And likewise, I bought some Scribo Fills. I've got 3, I think it is, 1, 2, no, I've got 4 Scribo Fills, and I don't really feel that I need more of them. They're nice pens. The nibs are phenomenal, but I just feel that I don't need any more that look the same. I'm not a person that needs to collect all of the colours or the models under that brand. That said, the next pen I have inked up is the Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. And yeah, I do have, I think, close to 70 Viscontis in my collection. That's a huge amount. So saying that I don't collect every pen in, say, for a brand, yeah, I don't. And I can prove that because there are a lot of Viscontis that I have actually walked away from and said, I'm not buying that one. I don't like the colour. I don't like the shape. Maybe it's too much bling. But a lot of Viscontis I do like. So again, I don't have to complete the collection. I don't have all the Homo sapiens. I do like the Homo sapiens, and they are my favourite model. But I don't need them all, and I don't want them all. So I think that's what sort of differentiates between myself and maybe a avid collector, where you have to, or you feel that you have to have every single model in that range. This has the older 23 cat palladium nib. This is a fine nib, and I absolutely adore it. It's a power vac filler. It's a demonstrator. It's a double reservoir, hook safe lock, concave section there. Makes it so comfortable to hold. You can post the Homo sapiens. They post very, very well. And I have to say, I do like this pen a lot. So this is a pen I have inked up again this week, and I just love it. The next pen I have inked up is this one, and this is a Montegrappa. It's the Extra Otto. And I honestly would like some more of these. I love the shape. I love the facets on this. I love this chunky cap band as well. Absolutely stunning pen, and I will be looking at other Extra Ottos. But again, it is going to depend on what the material, what the colour is. Beautiful pen, piston filling pen, so about 1 to 1.2 millilitres of ink. You've got a solid silver section which will tarnish, but you can polish up. Has a number 8 size nib in there. Montegrappa do recess their nibs quite a lot. Certainly the number 8 size nib. You've got the ebonite feed there. This really is a beautiful pen, and it's a pen I love writing with. So I have that one inked up this week as well. The next pen, again, another Montegrappa, again, another celluloid. It's the Extra 1930, and it is the striped zebra. You can see that there, absolutely stunning celluloid that comes alive. Beautiful pen, again, another piston filling pen, 1 to 1.2 millilitres of ink. You can see there the 1912 cap finial there, very chunky cap band there, like the Extra Otto. Solid silver section again a number 8 size Montegrappa nib there with an ebonite feed. Again, beautiful pen. You can post these caps, but they post onto the back of the piston knob, so you do have to be careful. They don't post that securely as well, so these are not normally what I would class as postable caps. Single cap threads, so the pattern always lines up. And honestly, I like that attention to detail that Montegrappa are providing in their pens. It stands out to me. It's more night and day. So yes, I probably will be adding more Montegrappas to my collection. I think actually, at the London Pen Show in October this year, if I do go, I am planning to go. Obviously, we'll see what happens because of COVID. Our COVID infection numbers have reduced quite a lot over the summer, but I will certainly, if I do go, be looking out. There are a bunch of pens that I will be looking for, and there are pens that I do like. Actually, I say October. I actually mean March next year, because we're already past October, aren't we? So, yeah. So I will be looking out for some Montegrappas and seeing what I can add to my collection, because I do have to say that they are quite nice pens. The next pen here I have is the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. Beautiful. It's an ebonite pen. Urushi, you've got these crushed quail's eggs with abalone strips laid out in a Raden finish there. Absolutely stunning. So you can see there that amount of detail. It is a pen that I fell in love with. I fell in love with the original Winter's Breath, which was a more rectangular, flat-ended pen. This is the cigar shape, which typically I like a little bit more of. So when I had the opportunity to buy this, I did. It has a Taccia number 6 size nib. You can get a number 8 size nib. It's called the Empress if you want the number 8 size nib. It is a cartridge converter, but that number 8 size nib adds at least another 800 to the price of the pen. So, and this is already a very expensive Mackie Warden pen. So, hats off to anybody that buys the Empress. I just couldn't really justify I think it was 3,500 retail price that they want for the Empress. It's a lot of money, but it's a gorgeous pen. So I don't have the Empress. I have the regular Miyabi Winter's Breath there. So I think with that, let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen here is the Danitrio Bamboo Story. So we'll do a ink swatch. And I am going to actually open up the back of this. I'll show you on camera here. Just so that I can get a little bit more ink flow. There you go. You can probably see a difference there night and day. It was writing a little bit dry to start with. And opening that shut-off valve just helps a little bit more. So this is the Danny Trio, and this is the Bamboo Story, and it is a fine, and it is an 18 karat gold nib. And I used to shy away from fine nibs, but I have to say I am liking them. This nib did write very fine, very scratchy out of the box. I did frost the tines, I did smooth the nib out, and it writes beautifully now. The ink in here is Diamine, and it's Poppy Red. But that is a beautiful red ink, and an ink that I do like writing with. It is a beautiful, beautiful ink, but so is the pen as well. The next pen is the Classic Pens LB5 in the Kauseki. So we'll do an ink swatch on this one as well. Now this one, just going to have a look. This is actually quite a nice writing nib. It is a finer nib, so it is the Classic Pens LB5, and it's the Kaen. It's a medium nib, but as I said, it is more of a fine nib. It's an Asian nib, so an Asian medium typically is more akin to a Western fine nib. It is a 21 karat gold nib because it's made by Sailor. And then the ink in here is Mont Blanc, and it's Corn Poppy Red. But that is a beautiful red ink, beautiful pen as well. So I do like that a lot. The next pen is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. So again, we'll do an ink swatch here. Now this does write a lot wetter, and this is typically why I like Visconti nibs. I prefer the nib to be on a bed of ink because it makes the nib write smoother. So this is a Visconti, and it's the Medici Il Magnifico, and it's the red marble, and it's a medium, and it's a 23 karat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is Pelican, and it's Edelstein, and it is Star Ruby. which I do like a lot. It apparently does have a little bit of glitter, but it's very, very minimal. Beautiful ink, and it's an ink I like a lot. The next pen again is another Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and this is in the Lapis Lazuli. So we'll do another ink swatch here. And this is actually going to be out of ink. So we'll just, yeah, I'm going to have to actually re-ink this one up because I have written it dry. So we'll just do an ink swatch here. I've actually got a little bit of paper fibre there on the nib as well. So this is the Visconti, and I still have the paper fibres. This is the Visconti Il Magnifico, and it is the Lapis Lazuli, and it is again a medium, but it's an 18 cat gold nib from Visconti, and then the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku Aji Sei, which for me is a very, very beautiful ink, one that I do love a lot. And I have got 2 bottles of that now, and I'm seriously thinking about buying a third one as well. The next pen is a Scribo 3 in the Bologna blue. So we'll do an ink swatch. And again, a very wet writing nib. Do love these 14 karat gold nibs. They are quite bouncy, quite flexible. So this is the Scribo 3 in the Bologna blue, and it's a medium, and it is a 14 karat gold flex nib or extra flex nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine China blue, which is quite a nice blue ink, a lot darker than I actually envisaged it would be. The next pen is the Scribo 2 in the Cardinal Red. So we'll do an ink swatch here, and this nib is super flexible. I did actually have somebody at a pen club actually spring the tines on this one, so it's difficult to tell, but there is a slight gap there. I've managed to get the gap between the tines back, but I do have to be a little bit careful with this. I don't flex it now. So it's a Scribo 2 in the Cardinal Red. It is a medium, but it writes more like a broad. It is a 14 cat gold flex nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine, and it's Poppy Red. But in terms of flex, I do have to be a little bit careful, but like that's the normal line, and then that's the line that you can get out of it. So I will flex it, but only in very small amounts, like that small line in terms of duration of flex, because I don't want the nib to spring again. The next pen is the Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a fine nib. It still writes wet, but not as wet as, say, that Scribo. But it's a beautiful writing nib. It's the Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog, and it is a fine 23 cat palladium nib, and then the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku, and it is Kompeki. Beautiful writing nib. I do like those 23 cat palladium nibs. I just find that they write, in most of the cases, very well. The next pen is the Montegrappa Extra Otto. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And yeah, this writes also quite wet as well. Quite surprising for grey ink as well. So this is the Montegrappa Extra Otto, and it is a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. It's actually the pearl grey. Forgot to put that there. And then the ink in here is Venvistus. Venvustus. Venvistus. I think it's spelt like that, maybe. And it is London Fog. Now sometimes you have essentially a brain fart where you just completely forget how to spell something. I think it actually may be an A, not a U. The next pen inked up is the Montegrappa Extra 1930, and this is in the striped zebra. So we'll do another ink swatch here. And this one I know is getting low. So we'll see if I can get through this ink sample here, or whether or not I'm going to have to re-ink it. So this is the Montegrappa Extra 1930, and it's the striped zebra, and it is a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib, and I think I will get through it. The ink in here is Diamine Grape, which is a dark colour, almost a black. I do like that colour though. I think it's an interesting colour. And then the last pen here is the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath. So we'll do another ink swatch here. And I still ink this up with exactly the same ink. If you've seen me write with this before, you will know what ink this is. It's just an ink that I absolutely love. So this is the Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath, and this is a broad, and it's an 18 cat gold nib, and then the ink in here is Pelican Edelstein, and it's Topaz. Beautiful color ink, an ink that I do love a lot, and it's one of my favorite turquoisey color inks. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Danitrio Bamboo Story in a fine 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Poppy Red. We have a Classic Pens LB5 Kaen in a medium 21 karat gold nib, inked up with Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble in a medium 23 karat palladium nib, inked up with Pelican Edelstein Star Ruby. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Pilot of Oshizuku Aji Sei. We have a Scribo 3 in the Bologna Blue in a medium 14 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine China Blue. We have a Scribo 2 in the Cardinal Red in a medium 14 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Poppy Red. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog in a fine 23 karat palladium nib, inked up with Pilot Washizuku Konpeki. We have a Montegrappa Extra Otto in the pearl grey in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Venvistus London Fog. We have a Montegrappa Extra 1930 striped zebra in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Grape. And then we have a Taccia Miyabi Winter's Breath in a broad 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Pelican Edelstein Topaz. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.